Oh, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. We are live. Well, I should say good morning for those that are the other side of the world, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yes, if you haven't noticed, we've got our guest this evening. We've got Lauren from Simple Aquariums all the way from down under in Australia. So, what time is it with you, Lauren, just now?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow,
so
that's commitment. Thank you.
Dedication. So, massive thank you, Lauren, for joining us tonight. Jay should be with us, but as usual, guesses in the chat to where Jay is just now. We don't know, so there should be some funny guesses in there. I think somebody already said he was putting the shopping away, so that's probably a likely thing.
So remember when it used to be? It was always late. I managed to get slated. Remember that?
I know.
Hey, now it's Jay all the time. He's still called my mantle, mate.
So I don't actually know where he is, but he'll be here soon, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Somebody's saying my mic's a bit echoey. Does my mic sound alright, or is it bad?
I think yours okay. I thought it was Steve. I thought Steve's was a bit
echoey.
I
can't hear Steve too well.
Is it me again?
Yeah.
Steve, you're going to need to dial in this laptop, mate.
You know. Oh man.
No, that's worse, Steve.
Joking.
But anyway, we'll let you sort that out, Steve, and you can figure out what's going on with there. So yeah, how is everybody?
Good.
Yeah, really good. Really good. I'm keen to learn more around Lauren's tank, and I know certainly around the using a filter, which is quite unusual nowadays.
It is a strange one. I've actually got a tank downstairs with a canister filter that isn't doing anything, and it was one of those ones when I watched the videos I thought, little fish only set up could work here maybe, but I don't know. So yeah, sorry, anyway, we should probably let you introduce yourself, Lauren, for those who don't know you. So do you want to just do a quick hello?
Yeah, my name is Lauren, and I've got a channel, Simple Aquarium. So yeah, I've got some fish tanks, as you can see behind me. Probably been reefing for about just over a year and a half, I think now. So I've always had freshwater and in any way, shape or form growing up, and finally took the plunge into the saltwater side about a year and a half ago. So absolutely loving it. So yeah, I've still got freshwater tanks, but as well. But yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
So it must take a lot of work then to do all them, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got 4 tanks and a little goldfish pond outside.
So it keeps you busy. So what made you go in? What made you go into marine from freshwater?
Well, I've always liked saltwater, but I always thought it was really, really difficult or something that I could never do myself. And then I went to the local fish shop, and the guy there basically talked me into giving it a go. So, and there's someone locally as well who had tried it with a very similar sort of setup to what I've got. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, I absolutely love it. The fish is so interesting compared to freshwater fish, I find. Like they just interact and they've got such awesome little personalities. So, I love it.
Brilliant. Mm-hmm. So was the 6-foot tank you've got, was that a freshwater tank before, or did you get that purely for marine?
Yeah, it was. I had discus in there. Bought it for an absolute bargain. Really, really cheap tank. And then, so it was a canister filter set up, and then it came with like a couple of canister filters and stuff like that. And then I decided, I know there's a whole thing around you can't do canister filter setups, but then there was this one person locally that I'd heard of that had a canister filter reef set up, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And that's the whole reason why I started, really getting into sharing it on YouTube and stuff like that, because I was like, if it's going to work, then, it could epically fail as well. But, if it's going to work, then I want to, share the journey at least. So, so that's how I kind of got into all of that. And I
don't see there's any reason why it can't work. That's the thing. People say, you need a sump or you need an all-in-one tank.
They used to.
Realistically, canister filters are a smaller version of a sump, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I sound any better now?
You're fine.
That's heaps better.
Yeah. I put my Bose ones on now, so I might look a bit of a clown with these headphones on, but
Not at all, mate.
No difference, Steve. No difference.
Did a lot better. Yeah, no, canister filters. They used to be classed as like nitrate traps, didn't they, and stuff like that. That's what people used to say. They used to be the the nitrate traps. But it's like anything. If you clean them and you clean them out, you've got to clean your sumps out. If you know what I mean. So it's just like the same. You clean your canister filters out and you clean your sumps out. There should be no issue. You know what I mean? But I looked into it when I was first got my before I bought the Red Sea 170. And I was buying a tank, but it wasn't going to have any sump. It was just going to be the display, and then I was going to run just a single canister filter on it. And then it was only when I was like doing research, I was like, and more people were swinging towards the sump side than there was for the canister, and that's what swung my mind in the end. I was like, if more people are doing it, but over time, I wouldn't have a problem with setting up one. With
and to be fair, if I had the money, I would totally probably go a whole beautiful big 6-foot sump setup. But it was just purely a money thing. That's just what I had, and that's just I've always been that type of person where I just want to make the most. If I've got this, I'm like, right, what can we do with what I have? And so that's.
I think it's a good thing though, because it proves a point that you don't need to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to get a pucker marine setup that will work on an existing tank that you've got with a canister filter. So there's no reason why. I mean, people say, you can't do it in a canister filter. But I mean, even if you look at the chat there's a lot of people. So Coral Reef Queens has said that she had one 14 years ago in a dual Trigon. And then UK Reef Bros said, nothing wrong with canisters. I use one on my fish quarantine. Then there was one there, one on Reefer said, big display tank at Biss and Stockport is running canister filters. I think
every one of them are in Stockport. Abyss Aquatics, they run all of their tanks on other than obviously the fish tanks where you're buying them from the stock. They have them behind, but the majority of their tanks they run on all canister filters.
So Lauren, what goes in the canister filter and how do you maintain it?
So I've just got, once again, it was pretty much exactly what I had in there when I had the discus, just, bits of biomedia in there. And I've just got filter floss. So that's the main thing that I clean out, and sponges. So I just clean out the sponges. Because I've got 2 canister filters on the 6-foot. I used to clean out 1 canister filter a week. So alternate them, but I'm not doing that so much anymore. I've definitely slacked off. But my nitrates are still, at 10, and that's with like a whole bunch of big fat tangs in there. So, so I don't clean them as often as I used to. But, it's just basically got that, take out the filter floss, replace it completely, and just squeeze out the sponges and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all that's in there, and a bit of carbon.
So does that keep the both? So nitrate 10, that's pretty good, isn't it? And then what about phosphate? Does it actually pull out phosphate, or do you have water changes to complement that?
I do quite a lot of water changes. As you were saying before, you had you've got a nice little pump. I just use buckets, which I get very ridiculed for online. That how barbaric that I use buckets to do water changes, but anyway, works for me. One day I will spend the money and get a pump and do it properly and the easy way, but bit of a workout.
Well, in the garage I use so I do in the garage it's so easy by the door to just pump it straight out, but in the garage I use buckets and it's a smaller tank and it's a lot easier, so I haven't got loads of to in and fro, but it's still to in and fro in there. But I know what you mean.
Exactly.
I mean, I suppose the thing is, so this kind of brings me on to this point here. Well, a question from Owen. So can you talk to all-in-one and what you run in them, please? So my tank's an all-in-one, and in a sense, it's probably very similar to a canister filter. There's not really much difference to that, because in the back of me, I don't have a skimmer, I don't run anything like that. So it's literally, in my first chamber, I've got filter floss, then close to that, it's a bag of Roafoss. Middle chamber, I have a little bit of carbon in a bag, close to another bit of filter floss, threw some biomedia and back in the tank again. So realistically, if I had a canister filter, it would do exactly the same thing as that. There wouldn't be anything different in that from what I've got in there. So that's really my all-in-one system, and I think it's very similar to a canister. So I don't think there's massive differences really when people say, "Oh, you can't do it in a canister." Of course you can.
Yeah. It
Absolutely.
just might be a little bit more laborious, like taking the canister, taking the lid off, a bit more to it than, just picking out the stuff out of the back there. So but I don't mind. For me, it was like, I'm just going to I have to make do with what I have, basically. I didn't have the money to do it elsewhere. So I'm like, right, I don't really care what it takes. I'm going to do it because I want to make it happen. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And when I used to have an all-in-one, it had 4 chambers at the back, so it was slightly bigger than that. So I had a skimmer in the first chamber, and then I had filter floss in the second. Probably that's my very first tank. I'd probably swap it over now. I'd probably have sponges and filter floss in the first, just to take all the crap away as it comes down the overflow. Then I'd have the skimmer, and then I was able to have reactors in there and some bioballs. So that was kind of obviously for phosphate and for nitrate. And then it was just the heater, and then the last chamber was the auto top off. And in fact, when I first started, I did it manually, and so I used to let it run right down and then stick 10 litres of RO in a 125 litre tank. And I wondered why I struggled with SPS. But I mean, actually, the LPS and that, there was no problems whatsoever.
No.
But when I think that I used to let it run down and then put 10 litres in, I would not do that now. I'd go for an auto top off. But when I first started, I didn't really think about it, and it worked fine for me. It's kind of how you learn over the years, I suppose. But all-in-one.
I was actually saying this to someone earlier that I don't think I could have a tank now without an auto top off.
Absolutely.
I think I would really struggle to go without one. It's one of those things that, in my opinion, is a must-have for a reef tank, because the second that you're away for a day or two or whatever, you go away, your salinity's all over the place, the level's changed. It might not affect things straight away, but I would have one every single time.
The only issue you have is if there's a
fault. Steve, you're like a Dalek, Steve.
Oh God, I don't know what it is. What in the hell's going on with this?
But actually, Lauren, I was going to ask you a question on that one, because you don't use an auto top off for your new tank, do you? You use a dosing pump.
For the new tank, I do. Sorry.
You've got a little dosing pump.
I'm dosing my RODI into. I'm using my doser as a auto top off, which I've actually found no issues with. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you got to be careful," but I've just marked in the sump, the line that it should stay on, and so I just make sure that if it starts dropping below that just slightly, then I'll just up the dosing a little bit, or whichever way around. But so I'll probably end up getting a auto top off, to be fair. But for the moment, I'm just using the doser because it's got 5 dosing heads, and so but it seems to be working all right. But I don't have any auto top off in the. Sorry, it's opposite.
You don't have one in the big tank.
What's that?
Do you not have one in the big tank? Did you say?
Nah, I just fill it up once a week.
That sounds very similar. Move. It's a bit different. 6-foot tank to my 135 litre. So how much do you end up putting in every week?
A bit more. Yeah, because it's not really that much of a difference. I mean, I don't have SPS though. It might be a different story if I had.
I would say so. Mine were just brown. Yeah. They just hated the fact of the salinity going up and down with it changing by 10% on that. So that was one of the learns on that one. I mean, there's 2 things. One, an auto top off, and I wouldn't do without a temperature controller either.
No.
I think that's really important as well. I didn't have one on that tank, and I just trusted a little thermometer in there, just making sure the temperature over. If it had busted, it just would have cooked.
It's funny because that was the actual conversation I had with somebody earlier. Was the 2 things I wouldn't be without is a temperature controller and an ATO. That's one of the 2 must-haves, I would say. And I know a lot of people do without, but for me, having had them, I don't think I could go back now. Because I mean, all my freshwater tanks, I never had ATO. Well, you don't need one for freshwater. But my temperature controllers were just heaters. They were just plug-in heaters, and that was them with a control on the top of them. Never had a controller. Now I think even if I set up a freshwater tank, I would still put a controller on it. It's just, once you've had one, you've had that peace of mind, and you think, I'll put one back on it again.
Yeah, absolutely. My one in the garage, one next to the door, went down to 24.5 degrees this morning. I think it was quite cold, and the radiator out there wasn't working. So I just turned the radio up, and it was okay. So I probably need to put a bigger heater in that, so that if it goes really cold, it can cope. But yet the tank next to it, which is obviously not next to the garage door, that was fine. There was 0.5 degree difference between the two tanks in the same room. So there's obviously a difference. So I just need to up the temperature in that one. But just on that side, 0.5 degree is not going to make any difference. But at least you know if there's a bit of an issue and it starts bleeping, and you can see it.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it's the number one thing I would say. Obviously, with an auto top up as well.
Yeah. There's a question here from Coral Reef Queens for you, Lauren. Do you make your own salt water, or do you collect from the ocean?
At the moment, I make my own salt water, but I do plan on the 6 foot starting to collect from the ocean, because we've got, from what I can see, nice water down here. So, but yeah, I'm going to test it and stuff like that. I'm planning on doing a video on all of that. I'm thinking of maybe doing an ICP test on it and just seeing what it comes out as. But yeah, definitely plan on doing that natural seawater for the 6 foot. I'll probably still make up water for the little one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah.
See, my perception would be that all of the water around Australia would be crystal clear, but how naive am I?
Yeah. I imagine like the entire coast of Australia being like the Barrier Reef. Of course, Australia's a tiny little country for us, isn't it? It looks small. So yeah, you just imagine that.
Here, we have beautiful water down here. It's just it is crystal clear down here. So
so you're in the south then, Lauren, are you?
Yeah, down the south, very south coast. So the west side of Australia, down the south coast. Yeah.
So nowhere near the Barrier Reef then?
No. I did grow up kind of over that way, but not. I've never been to the Great Barrier Reef, but I plan to one day, definitely.
It's on my bucket list to visit that. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah.
It's a bit more difficult for us though.
Yeah. Having said that, it's probably still a 6 or 7 hour flight for you, is it not?
And to be honest, it's probably cheaper for you guys to fly from where you are. Like our domestic flights are just ridiculously priced.
Are they?
Yeah.
So there was a couple of questions that we're going to ping up here. Somebody had asked how your SPS is doing, Lauren, but you just said you didn't have any, didn't you?
Oh, in the new tank.
In the new tank you do, yeah.
Yeah, I've got, it's going really well. So, I'm taking it really, really slow with that tank because, I mean, with this tank, I've not had much luck with SPS, probably because, I don't have an auto top off and stuff. So I've only had like 1 or 2 pieces that I've actually tried in there. And then I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go the really easy, chilled out corals in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still want to take it slow with this tank. I've just got a bit of green plating Monty and some bird's nest frags in there and just see how they go. And probably towards the end of December, I'll add in a few more. But yeah, definitely want to take it slow with that tank.
So what setup have you got? What tank is that, Lauren, on that small one over your right shoulder? Yeah.
That's a Waterbox 60 Marine X 60.2. So yeah, I think I got that right. Yeah. Just set that up a couple of months ago. I think it's been over 2 months now running. So I only added in the coral about a week or 2 ago. So see how we go.
And did you use some existing rock or anything from the existing tanks to help seed it?
No. I used new rock there. So I used Marco. Is it Marco rock?
Yeah, Marco rock.
Yeah. So that's good.
And am I right in saying that in Australia you can't import corals? So basically, you're lumber, because you've got some fantastic corals out there. It's just ones that are caught, I suppose, within the Australia area. Is that right?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right from what I've heard. But yeah, it's interesting hearing, what the coral prices are all over the world and what people pay for things. And it is. I guess some things are cheaper. Like is it rock that's really cheap over where you guys are? Like live rock, is that really cheap over there?
We don't have live rock. The best you can get is stuff that's maybe seeded at your local fish store. Yeah. But all of it is dry rock. So kind of Marco, Real Reef, and there's a stack of others as well. The problem with them is so sterile. That's why people get dinos and lots of algae, as we were talking earlier on about. You cycle the tank, you stick your lights on full belt, and all of a sudden the algae out competes the good bacteria, and you've got an ugly stage that's quite ugly.
So I just want to jump in and say thank you very much to Nick for the super chat there. He's donated $8.99 for a super chat there. So thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate that one. That's brilliant, mate. Thank you. So we actually have the myth, the legend.
Lauren, I am genuinely so sorry. I'm late.
Don't you worry. That's okay.
He's late for everyone.
It's my old age. I was trying to get up the stairs now. I couldn't get up the stairs quick enough. No, I just had to do something with my family, so sorry I was a little bit late.
Don't you worry. That is all good.
But you've been in good hands and enjoying yourself, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
We might let you off, mate.
What's that?
We might let you off.
Oh, cheers, Ross. Thanks. Cheers, mate. How's things, everybody? Good?
Yeah, good.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Everybody in the chat as well as some regulars. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Really good. Got my tree up.
Oh.
I love a bit. Have you got a tree, Ross?
Can't see it, Ross.
Well. I can't quite show you this right this
Can't see yours, Ross. It must be really tiny.
No.
You have to go full screen, Ross, and you'll probably see it because the picture will go wider.
Just you wait for this. Just you wait.
Yeah, let's make it.
I need to actually.
Saw something there glowing.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
No comment. Is your one flash, Jay?
Where did you get that from?
That was an Amazon special, mate. Amazon.
It looks like love honey all over that, to be honest.
Brilliant, isn't it?
I actually like that. It's really nice, that is, Ross.
Well, it's battery operated, so I need to switch it off because I'm tight and don't want to waste battery.
Oh my goodness.
It's got little jingle bell things on it that really annoy me. So
I was pressuring to putting mine up. The fish wanted it up. They were like, December, come on, get the tree up. I'm hoping the new lights will colour up those SPS. That's what it is. I heard Lauren was struggling with SPS. I'm in your club, Lauren, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's so hard to get the colour in these little. Well, you've not got a little tank, have you? You've got a massive one, but.
Well, I've heard that it can be. Well, I have no experience in this, but I've heard people say that only SPS tanks are reasonably easy. But when you start mixing your LPS and everything and your SPS, that's when it starts to get tricky because you're trying to, I know a few of you guys have SPS and LPS, but yeah, apparently that's where it starts to get a bit tricky when you're trying to mix the two.
A mixed reef is definitely harder to run because you got corals potentially the opposite end where some like clean water and others like dirtier water. So trying to get a mix is not easy.
Just laughing at Cottage Reef comment. That's brilliant. Absolutely. And it was definitely signed for as well, I'm sure.
Well, I actually think I've still got. Look, so discreet packaging right there. Look at that.
He was in.
That's what came in. Discreet packaging for the discerning gentleman.
I love it, Ross. Christmas is a big thing at our house, so we have to get it as soon as it's December. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I usually don't. I'm usually quite a Grinch, but this year I thought, well, I can't sit and do videos if I don't have a Christmas tree in the background. So, yeah,
that's it.
Amazon special, mate. I just want to jump back because there was one here from Black Pearl Reef for you, Lauren, that says Lauren says she's going to get some new corals and basically walks into the sea with a bucket and some bone cutters.
Not quite. I wish that would be very nice. Maybe if I was up north a little bit more, might sneak a cheeky coral too. But the water's a bit too cold where I am. But and it's slightly illegal. But
slightly. It's only if you get caught, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are all the reefs on just on the northeast side, or is there some down the south coast, or around where you are, the southwest?
Up the west side there is. So I'm on the western side. So yeah, you've got your Great Barrier Reef on the east side, and then on the west side there's Ningaloo Reef and stuff like that up north. So
you don't tend to hear about that one as well.
What's that?
You don't tend to hear about that one so much. Is it a big reef as well?
Not as big as the Great Barrier Reef, nah.
No. So, Lauren, I've got to ask you a question. Do you watch YBS Brody's videos on YouTube?
What was that?
Do you watch YBS Brody on YouTube?
YBS?
Yeah.
I think that's a no.
That'll be a no then.
No. Has he got a lot of subs?
He's over a mil.
I watch him. I love him.
He's well over 1 million, I'm sure.
Oh, I really like him. Get him on.
He doesn't do tanks, Jay. It's fine.
That doesn't matter to Jay. He just wants some more subs.
I know.
I just want Steve Friendly Reef to pop round and do a video next. I tried to get him on Instagram.
I thought he was coming round to see you. Was he not?
He's not quite interested in my little nano. He's not quite
interested.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Can't put my finger on it. But Lauren, congratulations on your 5,000 subs as well.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well deserved.
What's that?
It's very well deserved. Your videos are brilliant.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know how you managed to look after that 6-foot tank you've got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what maintenance would you do? Let's just say within a week for that sort of tank, and then in a month, those sort of things.
I do, yeah. I mean, your glass cleaning and stuff like that is pretty normal. I was just saying before, I used to do clean out because I've got 2 canister filters. I don't know why. There's no specific reason why I've got 2 canister filters. It's just because I had 2. So I was like, I'll whack 2 on there. So, I used to clean out 1 canister filter a week. And then I have stopped doing that, and it's more so once every 3 weeks I'll clean out 1. But yeah, I found it's kind of, now that it's matured, it's about a year and a half old now. It's I don't have to clean it out so much. I mean, I don't even know if I needed to clean out a canister filter a week. It's just what I did for a long time. But yeah, that's pretty much And water changes, I do about 60 litres once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
quite good because you kind of hit that sweet spot, haven't you, of a mature tank?
Yeah.
Just ticking over as well. It's just the maintenance in terms of water changes, and then a little bit of testing, I'm guessing, and then it's just, you can just enjoy it. I bet your nano is taking a lot more time up at the moment than
it's
mature reef.
It's I don't know. It's so easy to clean though, that thing. It's just a few little wipes and you're done. It's so easy to clean. So it's really
Steve. Steal want one of those next. He likes easy reefer. Like you, Steve.
There's a question here for you, Lauren, asking what size of water change you do, because I think it could be more than both Jay and mine's tanks put together, probably.
It's about 3 of those white buckets, which I think they're about 20 or 25 litres. So it's about three of them worth that I do most.
So more than Jay's tank and more than my tank.
Yeah, definitely more than mine. Nick, I've put this on the back of your advice.
What is that,
Nick,
Jay?
I had a conversation with Nick on the phone for about 3 hours, and he was talking to me about outbreak. Lots of other things. We were talking about loads of stuff, loads of reefing stuff, and I just saw his name up there. He's told me to dose a little bit of Outbreak Marine, so I've bought that.
Yeah. So what is it?
What is it? Jay, what for?
What for? It's biological maintenance. That's what
okay.
It's
get some more bacteria, right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to build up the biodiversity of bacteria. I'm just using lots of little different bacteria products. Make a little cocktail. It goes.
So not only is your little scooter Blenny,
what was that, mate?
Your little scooter Blenny gets tucked in at night and he now gets a cocktail as well. You're spoiling on him.
He's loving life. He's so brightly coloured. Well, yeah. So I put like each week I'll put like a cap of this, then a cap of the other one the following week, and then a cap of the other.
Okay.
So I got 3 bacteria now. So I've just.
So you got that one, and you got the Dr. Tim's, and what's the third one?
Well, Vibrant's the third one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I use a bit of Vibrant, only half a mil when I do that one. But yeah, a little bit of that.
And how much is the outbreak? How much you put that in?
The outbreak, right? It says I don't put nowhere near as much as this in it. It says you should put in for 100 for every 75 litre, which is this one is 20 gallon. I should put 26 mil in. And I'm like, that's like half the tank. So I put I put 10 mil. I always go well. I don't even know if it's working at 10 mil. But
so is that to make it last longer, or you're just being a bit conservative?
Yeah, it's to make it last longer.
I'm like Ross with this Christmas tree batteries with this.
It's switched off again, mate.
Switched it off. You're so tight, honestly. You don't even pay for water. Get it switched on.
I know, but it's 3 AAA batteries it takes, mate. It's not just 2, there's 3 in it.
What a rip-off.
Now, I don't know the going rate of AAA batteries, but I'm pretty sure that 3 of them won't last 2 hours on a little tree like that.
They're expensive on Amazon. They are expensive.
I'll tell you what is expensive, and this will get you going.
Go on, then, get me going.
This stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
That is ridiculously expensive. So, I get this off Amazon, and I think it was £4 something for that.
Yeah.
And Mrs. was in Tesco's the other day, and she says, "Oh, there's Gorilla Glue gel." I says, "Well, get me one then." She come back, it was like £6 something for that little tub of glue. And I thought, nope, not today. So we'll stick to ordering that off Amazon, because £6 for that is ridiculous.
You did say it was really good,
so Ross, you're a reefer, and you're upset about £2.
Oh, I'm not upset about it. I just think it's ridiculous.
It's happy to get £1,000 water box tank, but well,
what's the saying? Look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. That's it.
Yes.
I respect that. I need to do more of that, to be honest. I just spend money and then I go, where's it all gone? Where's it gone? I live like
you got it in that tank beside you, mate. That's what it is.
Loads of stuff. And then live like a pauper for about 2 weeks, waiting for my payday. That's how.
So I feel since we've not had a video from you, Jay, in about 8 months, we're wondering what you bought for your tank.
Nothing really. I've got a new coral, but I haven't even picked it up yet. I'm sick of
man.
It's a really colourful SPS coral, but
Pikachu.
If I put it in, the thing is though, he sends me pictures and I've seen it. Looks amazing. If I put it in mine, it'll just like colour out. I think so. I'm a bit worried.
It'll go brown.
Yeah, my SPS they're not doing that well, to be honest. They're hard. They're really tricky.
No, they're not doing well, Jay. No.
Are you taking the mic again?
No, I'm genuinely asking.
He's asking you a genuine question.
No, I bought a red TNT. What is it? I think it's it's a red TNT anyway. And now it's gone pink, so it's like faded. In like the sun's hit it and it's faded.
Sun's hit it. Oh man!
I don't know. I need to test my lights because my nitrates are at 2.5, nearly 3. The phosphates are 0.08. Like the water chemistry is perfect. I don't know if my light's just a bit too powerful. For
you need to get a par meter.
I do need a par meter. Yeah.
Yeah. See if you can borrow it off someone or
bleaching them a little bit.
Yeah, you could be.
It's not the light. I haven't got a clue what's going on with them. I honestly don't know.
What lights do you have on there?
I have the Radiant Gen 5 Blue, which is quite strong for a
75-litre tank.
It's nuclear. It's like
James trying to grow every coral into a bounce. That's what it is. You'll have bounce SPS next.
You should probably move the Christmas tree away. Like, it's just going to
exactly, it's the Christmas tree, Jay.
You don't want to, Jay. You don't want to put that Pikachu in it. You want to give it me. I'll grow it for you.
Jay, was that Christmas tree a real Christmas tree, but your Radion's actually just burnt it to bits, so there's just lights left there? Is that what it is?
Not like yours, Ross.
Nah.
Just a metal one. So you can see the fish for it, look. That's what it is.
It's gone. There seems to be a consensus here as well that you're just leasing corals now. So Practical Reefer says you're leasing corals, you're just getting photos sent to them. And then Nick said, are you just going to lease the Pikachu at Christmas, Jay, and just go around to look at it?
You know what? He is the man for SPS. And as soon as I got a strawberry shortcake about, when was it? About a month ago. And it looked amazing. Honest to God, it looked incredible. I was like, yes, I'm having that. That looks incredible. I'll put it right at the front of my display. Pride of place. I can enjoy that. And within 2 weeks, it's just gone like pink. No other colours. So it was like a rainbow colour. It's just gone one flat colour. So it's not brown or white or anything. It's just like a flat.
But you know what though, Jay? Sometimes they change. You see, they change. They'll dull out, and then they'll get them. They'll morph or they'll go into another colour. Yeah, it's just the way it's your lighting. It definitely things adapts to your lighting schedule and stuff like that.
It's the environment you flow and everything else. Most SPS do it. If I go to AAC and they're absolutely popping, I can virtually guarantee I'll take out a high-end SPS, put it in the tank now, and it will change colour. And strawberry shortcake are not easy SPS to look after. They need actually bang on stability and the right light. Because if the corals are fading, it could be because you've got too much light and you're bleaching them out. So, it depends on where they were before. Because you're just sticking them right under the nuclear centre of that tank. It's going to fade.
They're here. That's where they are.
Jay's tank's going to look like, can you remember the start of The Simpsons where the stuff had been swimming in the nuclear river and it was like the three-eyed fish and everything? That's what Jay's tank's going to look like.
Here we go. Lauren, we get a demo from Jay every so often. Just don't ask for the nitrate test.
Usually you put your Orphet lens and it gets really colourful, but this won't be colourful.
No, it'll be brown with other shades of brown, probably.
Beige. Bit of beige, Jay.
Hearing is beige, that's the colour.
There's a pigeon that's doing well.
50 shades of brown.
50 shades of beige.
Jay,
like Steve last week, he was like, "Oh yeah, I just chuck mine at the back, and they grow like wild
weeds."
Yeah.
Jay caught his reef saying that you can use his Senai to test your par, so you have to DM him on Instagram.
There you go.
I need who is that? Sorry, thank you
Cottage
so
Reef.
much.
Cottage Reef, you do know that with testing Jay's par, there's a good chance you're going to melt your Senai, so just need to bear that in mind.
I don't know if you'll be able to see anything here, to be honest.
Right, hang on, you're going to go full screen, mate. We need to get the full screen.
Well, there's nothing really to see. They're just all looking a bit.
Oh, there's some colour.
There's colour there, Jay. Look in the background. They're green.
Yeah, the green one. There's two green ones and a red one.
There's a brown one, a brown one, a brown one, a brown one.
Yeah, there's a pink one to the left. That's pink. What's that one?
Rainbow Tenuous. Yeah.
Right, pink rainbow Tenuous. Yeah.
No, not even. No, that's the TNT that should be red.
Oh, right. Okay. They all look the same, Jay.
You're really good at boosting my reefing confidence. Yeah, there.
I think Jay's Real Reef Tours has to be a stable factor in these live streams. We need to one every week.
Yeah, it's these three here. These three are doing absolutely nothing. You know, collectively they've cost me a fortune, and they're adding nothing to the party here.
But they're alive. They're alive. They haven't stripped, have they?
Yeah, they are alive. Yeah, they are alive, but they're not colouring. There's no colour.
Have they grown?
No, brown's a colour.
Brown's a colour.
That's a fair point.
That is a fair point.
Not the chosen colour, but it's a colour.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get a little shot of the scooter blending, but it's just gone under his.
Rock. I like the Zoa garden, Jay. That's looking good.
What's that? Oh, that's another issue. That's another issue, right? If you're getting a Zoa garden, plant them all at the same time, because I didn't. And I've got, look at these rasters there. That's my weeds, Steve. Look at those. They're everywhere.
They're growing well, then, mate. They're growing well.
They're growing like weeds. I want the other ones.
What are those brown ones in the corner?
They're orange, Steve. They're called mandarins.
Yeah,
they're mandarins.
That lens.
That lens. Oh, yeah, I should.
That's what it is, Jay. You need to get a new camera because everything looks brown in your camera. That's all it is, mate.
I think
it's the camera, definitely the lens.
Definitely the Orphet lens, I think.
That's exactly what it is. So I'm just going to go back to the comments because we've probably missed.
There's probably going to be some decent ones in there.
It looks good.
Yeah, so Black Pearl said, started out as a strawberry shortcake, now it's just tree bark.
There's an observation for you.
What's that? Go on.
Can you not see the comments, Jay?
You got to read it for him.
Started out as a strawberry shortcake, now it's just tree bark.
It does look like a tree bark. It does. It did look amazing. I feel so guilty. It's not dead though, so I've got hope. Steve, you're giving me hope though by saying you think it might just be a little colour morph.
Yeah, it'll colour.
Now we know why you've done a video recently, Jay.
The only time you,
yeah, that's it.
The only time you have to worry really is when say like it starts to turn white and it grows algae on it. That's when the problem is there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
I think you find it's dead.
As long as there's colour on it, mate, it's alive, so it can come back. You know what I mean?
When's it going to come back, Steve? You know, the time's ticking.
It can come back. Yeah.
It takes months sometimes, Jay.
It takes months, mate. Yeah. Listen,
there's a comment from. Sorry, man, you go.
I've got one of my colours around here, the Acropora, yeah. Yeah. And I put it at the back 8 months ago. Well, over 8 months ago, 9 months ago. And it's done absolutely nothing. And I was like, what's going on with this thing? And it's perfect lighting for it. And it's done nothing. It's turned a nice colour. And then I've looked at it. I got my lens in the water and had a look. And what it's done is it's spread. So it tables out first, yeah? Yeah. And then it'll grow upwards. And over time, and before you know it, it'll just start to shoot up. And that's what it is with most Acropora and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, they take time to settle in, mate, into your tank. And then over time, and then
they're
all of a sudden,
a real challenge, though, aren't they?
It'll just blow up, yeah.
If you want your
Look at that comment.
Challenge.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, all I can say is you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? You've got to learn somewhere. I just think.
You should have learned from that Monty Porter that you got.
The crazy thing is, my best SPS are actually still at the shop.
Brilliant.
That's the thing.
Right, so I'm going to take it a different direction here. So there's a comment, has anyone seen Parker's Reef's bid on Reef Factory? Now, Lauren, is Reef Factory anywhere near you, or is that miles away, you know?
No, that's over east as well.
Oh, man, that has to be the most impressive shop I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
You have to go there. You have to go on like a holiday or something.
No, because he said in his video that he shipped across Australia, didn't he? He said he would ship nationwide across Australia.
But there's like silly import laws or something into WA because we're just very anyway. So yeah, it cost $1 jillion to send over to WA. So I pretty much only buy locally in WA because otherwise it just costs so much it's quarantine or something because I don't know.
I really want to go across state. Yeah. You have to have licenses and wow.
I didn't realise that. I thought it would just be the case of like us sending something, you know, I didn't think it would be quarantines and import fees and so on.
Like sending out of Western Australia is fine, but anything coming into Western Australia, like corals, I think it's doable, but it just costs a lot. So, yeah, unfortunately.
Is that the same if you was to go on a road trip and you bought stuff back? I
don't know.
Are you not supposed to import into the state that way? I mean, obviously you got to get caught, but in terms of rules, if you air, then it's slightly different.
Importing is different than going on a road trip and buying it yourself and bringing it in yourself.
Wow.
That's totally
it should be, but you never know, do you? From a rules point of view.
Like a road trip in Australia, you're talking like 5 days to drive across the country. You know? It's not like our kind of road trip where we're like a couple hours.
Yeah, true. No, it does. I think it's about 4 days. I have done it once.
Okay.
Have you?
Wow.
Across? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 days.
About 4 days.
Oh my God.
Do you have a lot of choice for like local fish shops in that roundabout you, or is it not so popular?
Not where I am down because I'm classified as rural down where I am. So yeah, we've got 2 chain store sort of fish shops down here, which only one of them has coral, and I hate to say this, but they literally go there and die. Like I almost want to go there and rescue all of the coral because yeah, it's really bad anyway. But when I go up to Perth, which is about a 4-hour drive, yeah, there's really, really nice fish shops up there. So that's where I usually get my corals from.
So is that shop that you got your tank from, is that up in Perth? Because that looked like a really nice one, that shop.
Yeah, yeah, that's my
What was
favourite.
that one called?
Aquarium Gallery.
That was a really nice shop, actually. I like that one.
Yeah, so nice. Yeah, so, yeah, and I think they get their corals, just up the north of Australia, from somewhere called Monsoon Aquatics or something up there. But yeah.
So is there a lot of aquaculture corals with you guys, or is it more wild caught stuff, or what's
I think it's a bit of a mix. Yeah, a bit of a mix. Yeah. There is quite a lot of wild caught. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Have you got quite a good selection of fish in that as well, I take it then?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty similar to most places. I find that there's some stuff that you guys can get overseas that we can't get, like your bumblebee
snail.
Yeah. So there's things like that we can't get over here, or even what's those mangroves? That's it's fine on the East Coast, but Western Australia, it's you have to buy them from special places because of import laws. So especially in Western Australia, I find it's quite limited compared to even over East. So, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is.
So is there, excuse my ignorance, but is there like a hard border between Western Australia and Eastern Australia? How does it work?
Some people would say that.
I'm imagining like a big Trump-style wall between the two.
It's like Brexit. Western Australia are going to become their own country. Yeah, I don't know. It's really far away from the other states, and so even with the whole COVID lockdowns and everything like that, we were quite like, if we had one case of COVID in Western Australia, we went straight into a lockdown. Whereas over East, there was, it's just so different. But yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Very different.
I honestly didn't know that at all. I thought it was just one big open free-for-all like we kind of have.
Yeah, it is, but yeah, there's just different laws. What's that?
Yeah, you should know all this stuff. You're the geography man.
50,000 cases of COVID yesterday in the UK.
50,000.
Yeah.
Gosh, is it getting worse over there, or like has it gone down and then gone back up again? Yeah.
No, when the schools are there, it's high. So I think we should close the schools again. There you go.
Oh, you would think that, mate, wouldn't you?
No say, Jay. No say.
Close the schools.
Okay, you end up getting lynched by everybody.
I'm only joking. I'm actually, it was horrendous when they did that last time. So, I've got a question for you, a serious question now. So, what arguably the best torch, Lauren, is the Aussie Gold torch, right? But
he's aiming for a freebie here. He's trying to get a free one off you. Don't fall for it. Don't listen to him.
In England, hardly anyone in England can keep them alive in an aquarium. How about the Australians? Can they keep them alive in an aquarium? Do you know?
I've seen some people. Yeah, I've seen some people being able to. I've never, given it a crack myself. Yeah, I don't know. I have seen a few people, but I'm not sure if they, they've died off and they've just not told everyone, or but I have seen some people have success for them. So
I'd imagine if that happened, you would probably just stop uploading videos for a while, wouldn't you, Jay?
Yeah. Hey, mate, what are you on about, Rob? Nothing's died. Nothing has died.
How much do they go for over there? Like your gold talk?
Still, no, he's got loads.
What do you mean? How low?
You've got a load.
He likes an expensive coral.
They're about £240. So what's that in Australian dollars? About $400, is it? It's about $400, I think, is it?
For one head?
For one head, yeah.
Nice.
They are expensive. But you see, like you over there, you have like your scollies and scalemias, where they're fairly cheap, cheaper than what they are over here. Over here, you're looking at $250. A master scully, say for instance, well, what can be classed as a master scully? 3 or 4 different colours in it. You're looking at £1,000. So that's like $1,500, maybe $2,000. That, and it's just like insane. You know, I mean, they are nice, but I couldn't justify paying that. No chance.
Oh my gosh,
you know
no.
But there's some places where, like you said, you can get good deals, and there's not. But it's where you've got to look about, and it's like we've said before. You've got to look around, and you'll find a deal somewhere. But the majority of people are. I mean, torches never seem to come down; they always seem to be staying high for some reason. And I think as long as people keep buying them, they'll keep the prices high. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so popular, aren't they? But if you go back maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, people had them, but they were nowhere near as popular as they are today.
I remember the green ones, when I first started out on the 170, the green one, a single head was 20 quid, was just 20 quid 3 years ago, that green head in there, was £60 for the single head. Do you know what I mean? So, and that was like 2 years on from there. So it just shows you, like, within 2 years, it's tripled in price. You know, for the single head. So, and the golds and the indolls and the dragon souls and the holy grails, they've all just like gone crazy prices.
Wow.
Yeah,
for 12 quid. Free scholars for 12 quid.
I don't know, but I was literally just the way to say it. I think Scollies have took off recently where the prices are going up, but then Steve blew that out of the water, saying he got 3 of them for £12. So they've either fell off the back of a lorry or he stole them.
He's got them from shoplifters or something. There's no way he got that.
Got those out the bins at the back of the LFS, I think.
So there's Secret Reef. So Secret Reef, I hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're recovering and getting a bit better. Hope everything's all right. It's good to see you. But he said €80 for a green torch head.
Wow, green. I've got 6. I've got 6 on mine. You can have one of mine for 45 quid.
If we're being truthful, what beats a torch garden? What beats a torch garden?
I don't think anything can really.
Not if you've got a nice, 5 or 6 different coloured torches together, the flow, the colour, it's hard to beat that.
I agree.
So Jay, what about if it was a 4-inch diameter rainbow chalice?
No.
The 4-inch one, wow.
So a decent size one. I don't know.
Jay will be having a 625 litre tank in his bedroom if he had a 4-inch.
There's one that I think would beat it, and it's Secret Reef's Acan Garden. I'm going to give him that one. I would have said nothing would beat it, but your Acan Garden is something special.
The
Acan Garden is nice. Yeah, for sure.
If you're ever selling it, tap me up. I'll drive to Belgium and pick it up. Do you live in Belgium, or am I just going there? I think he lives in Belgium.
Yeah, he's in a different country. He sends you to Belgium and he's in Holland.
That's it, yeah, I think so.
So, Lauren, what kind of trends are going on over there with corals just now? Is there anything that's hot at the moment? Or
I feel like your Scullies are really, popular at the moment. What else? Torches always seem to be popular, and hammers. Basically all your LPS corals at the moment as well.
Kind of similar here then, I'd imagine.
I don't know if it's the same over there, but there's talk of LPS corals prices going just through the roof. Or there's, so I don't know if you guys have got that over there as well, but I've heard that they're going to...
Well, every time there's an export ban.
An export
ban. At the moment, I think there's very little coming in from Australia. So prices Scollies definitely going up on the back of that. Not so much torches, because most of the torches seem to come in from Indonesia. So when there was an Indo ban that goes up, so that tends to drive in Hawaii with yellow tangs. That's driven prices through the roof as well. So it seems to be driven by whenever there's an export ban or a major reduction in corals. But whether it's right or not, it just blows up the price in certain, and everyone dashes for those corals, which then takes the price up even more.
Well, I was in my LFS the other day, and I was going to buy the bleeding apple scholar, the bleeding apple one, to go with the one I've already got, and he was selling it for, I think it was like 220 quid, I think, and I was like, should have treated myself for Christmas, and then he was like, and then I was like, no, need to save up, just spend a little bit more, on the kids and stuff. And then he was like that to me. He says, you know what? In another like 6 to 8 months, these scholars will be about £600-700. And he said exactly like you said, because Australia are not shipping out. He went, the only time you'll ever get them is from somebody selling them out the reef tank, or they don't want them, or they're closing the tanks down. You'll never get them. You won't find them in LFS stores over there. So now I'm thinking to myself, I might go back there this weekend as well, off and go and get it, just in case.
Yeah.
Just as an investment. I always say
say that, Steve. It's an investment, mate. To buy corals, isn't it? It's an investment. It'll grow really big. It'll pay for itself in no time.
So I'm going to ask a stupid question here because I don't know the answer to this one. I'm assuming you can't frag scollies, can you?
Yeah, it's been done, but it's the death rate of it is like very, very high, very high. It's
so do scollies spawn then? Is that how they're reproducing as such? Well, I don't know anything about them, mate, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they spawn, don't they? Yeah, they actually spawn, I believe. Yeah. I'm sure Reef Builder, was it Reef Builders a long time ago? I'm sure they did one or tried to split it, in thing, and he was saying about it that it's got to be right down the centre. Anything off it and all that, it's game over. Both sides will more than perish. You know what I mean? But it has been done. It's definitely been done because he said it's been done before. But there's no. Let's put it this way:
you do a video.
You're paying £220, £250 for a scolly. I am not cutting that up.
You take the risk.
I'm not taking the risk.
Jay's right. It would be a good video.
It'd be a good video, Steve. It'd be a really good video. I killed my £240 scolly. Get loads of views.
Especially for YouTube.
I might get in 1 day. Views. Yeah, you never know.
It will. It'll go viral, Steve. Everybody loves a negative video.
It's very, very true, that, actually. Yeah,
I'd watch that in no time.
Oh, there's an interesting one. So, sure, they cut 2 scollies and put them together, and they grew into one, which is 2 different colours.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Yeah, sometimes they can morph. Yeah.
Actually, on that one, Lauren, what is it that you guys call a morph? I've heard you talking about morph corals. Is it morph coral?
Yeah.
What is a morph coral?
Are they called mushroom corals, like the little? Mushroom corals. Yeah.
So you call them morphs?
Yeah, I might be completely wrong calling them the wrong thing. Anything's possible with me.
I have heard it said on other Australian videos as well, and I'm thinking, what is a morph? Yeah. I didn't know what it was. It was a mushroom.
Yes. So you guys call them, because I think I called them mushroom corals for a while, but then I heard that someone was calling something else a mushroom coral, and I was like, I don't know. So I just went with morph, but now I feel like I can be free to call them mushroom corals too as well.
Call them mushroom corals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
That's what we call them.
Mushroom coral. They're so good, like the good value, aren't they? The Recordia mushrooms. Like the price of those for the amount of colour and pop on the sand.
Have you seen Nano Tank Reefer's green one? That mushroom, what he did on his latest video.
Nice.
Wow, that is just mind blowing, mate. Absolute. I can't believe that. I don't even know what it is. It's got to be a name. You know what? Everybody names these mushrooms, don't they, nowadays? Do you know what I mean?
Is that the one that you bought really cheap and it was just a tiny little bit of brown mushroom basically?
It's the green one in his nano tank. It's
like
absolutely insane. So really like a toxic green. It's insane, mate. It's absolutely insane. Big, huge bounce mushrooms on it, bubbles on it. It's just mind blowing, stunning.
Yeah.
I like Ross's Recordia, the yellow one. That is superb. The way it just pops, doesn't it? And that's not a decent price as well.
Yeah, it was only, what did I pay for that? 20 quid, 25 quid, I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember. And it was 3 heads as well that was on at the time. So it's actually, I mean, it's not grew really fast for a mushroom compared to some other mushrooms that grow really quickly. That one hasn't grown quite as fast, but the colour on it's phenomenal. And I'm quite happy with it to be just there. I think that's one that will probably move over the new tank for me because I'm still trying to decide what's going to stay in this little tank and what's going to move. But I think that one will probably move, to be fair.
What corals are you planning for your new tank? Oh, sorry.
So the new one is going to be mainly all LPS. That's the plan for the new one. I'll probably have a couple of little Zoa rocks, but I think I'm going to make the new. So the new tank I've got is the same as yours, Lauren. It's the 60.2 Marine X one. So I'm going to set that up with mainly all LPS and some Zoas, and then the tank that I've got, the little water box here, I'm going to keep zoas and mushrooms in and basically have it just a little zoa mushroom tank as such. I did toy with going down, either having it for a NEM tank or a macroalgae tank or something like that. But I think with the hassle of changing everything around, I'll probably just leave it as it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the new one. I was meant to get the stuff for it today, but only one parcel arrived, so I've got a big bucket of salt, and that is literally it for it. So
when's the tank due to turn up, Ross?
So I spoke to Waterbox again last week, and they said the ship window was between the 14th and the 24th of December. So I don't know if ship window of that means that's when it's shipping out or that's when it's due to arrive to me. I'm not sure, but I hope it comes before Christmas. If it comes after Christmas, that is what it is. I'm not in a rush to set it up. I'm not in a rush to get it or anything. I don't need it. So when it comes, mate. But I think it's meant to be kind of mid to later in December. So I'll just need to wait. But I noticed
since this is your second tank, Ross, what are you going to do differently with the new one that you didn't do with the first one?
Exactly.
I'm going to go a hell of a lot slower.
What have you learned? Go on, tell me.
So nothing drastic, but I'm going to go a lot slower with it. Properly take my time with this one. But that was my first ever reef tank. That was, it was just one of those things that I thought, I'm going to take my time, but you know what it's like yourself. Your first reef tank, you're like, I want fish in it. I want the lights on. I want corals in it. So you say you take your time, but really you don't, to be honest with you. So yeah, the plan is.
I was going to say that.
Basically, where this little peninsula that's here just now is going to move to the opposite side of the room. So that's going to go behind me where all that crap is sitting there. So I need to get an stand for that, put it over there, and then the new tank's going to go in here where this one is. So I'll wait and see what happens with it. But I'm going to have to move it in the first place anyway. So. Yeah.
What about you, Lauren? What did you do differently with your nano? Because obviously you'd learned from your big tank.
Yeah.
What have you done differently? Have you used like different rock, or have you done a different approach to setting it up?
I definitely went a lot, slower with this tank, to the point where I've got friends that don't have fish tanks, and they actually thought it was just the rocks that I had in the tank, and that was going to be it. I promise they're not just my pet rocks. I'm going to have actual things in there. Definitely going slower. It's funny though, because same as Ross, it's like when you first begin, you just want to get everything really quickly and you don't want to wait. But definitely second time around, you just like, whatever, it'll happen when it happens. And so
it's hard with the excitement, isn't it? It's hard with the excitement.
Exactly.
I want that fish and I want that coral, and the tank's not quite ready for it yet in terms of the bio load. So taking your time sounds good. Have you got your first coral though? Have you got your first coral? So what did you go for then? What was the first one you put in?
I've got green plating Montipora and
SPS.
Just some bird's nest. I know.
And the best bit is, Jay, is it's actually green. It's not brown.
Lauren's a big hitter. She's super confident. She's gone in with the SPS. Wow.
Oh, wow. We'll see. That's why I'm going slow.
That's awesome.
I don't know about you guys, but it's just like you just want to go slow because, if everything dies, you have to admit it to the entire world that it all died.
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's one thing I'm like,
And also you've got a tank running as well. So you've got a tank to look at. So your second one is to keep it going. You say, well, you can just put that to one side. It's doing blah, 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 because you can still enjoy a tank. So that made a big difference to me. And Ross, I'm sure it make a big difference to you as well. And I know, Steve, you had the frag tank and you got the other. So if you're starting one up, it doesn't matter because you've got one on the go. So I think that really does help.
Yeah.
So Coral Reef Queens is asking, Lauren, what your plans are fish-wise for the water box.
I keep changing my mind on this. I did think about some cardinals and breeding them, but then I also have seen some really gorgeous purpley sort of fish, pretty looking fish. So I still have not decided. What's the hell freak?
The
hell freaky
I do really like the look of them, and
Yeah, peaceful.
So I had one of the hell fishies and it was absolutely stunning. Really, really good fish. But mine's died for no reason whatsoever. So I don't know that. But are they expensive over with you?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, because over here
about 400 or something.
Yeah, so it's about the same. Here they're around about 150 to £200 for one here. So yeah, you'll be $400, I'd imagine, for one over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money to put into a little fish.
I mean, they're lovely looking fish, but yeah, it's a lot of money.
And they taste in caves, don't they, all day long? So they're not really. You're not getting 200 quid worth of swimming out of them, are you? Really?
No.
They just sit in a cave all day, don't they?
Sit in a cave.
It's like my suntail goby. He's in the cave all day long. Whereas the scooter blenny, you always see him. It's good value. He is. The scooter blenny is
good value. Yeah.
Right, Lauren. There's a comment here that says, "Don't tell them how much yellow tangs cost here." So you're going to have to tell us now.
Yeah, you can't say that. Yeah, exactly.
I think they are. Oh, I think I'm going to get this wrong. Is it 1,000? 1,000 or 2,000?
$1,000.
Yeah. No, I think it's 1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
how much is it for you guys? Has it gone up at all?
Yeah.
No, I wish there was 1,000 over there because I've been selling mine out of the tank.
It'd be gone.
It'd be
on Gumtree, wouldn't it, Steve? It'd be on Gumtree.
It'd be on eBay.
How much are they over there?
They're only about 100.
It depends where you go, but 150 to 200. I mean, I paid 30 quid for mine, and that was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And then the price went up, and then there was another ban, and they're just gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Jay, there's a question that I've missed a couple of times here. I've just noticed I'm going back to it. Tech Trader's asking what your flame scooter blenny eats.
Oh, so he loves lobster eggs. That's his favourite.
Caviar.
Foie gras.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy. He eats the best in the whole house. You know, we've just had beans on toast, and he's having lobster eggs. I'm not joking, but yeah, he likes lobster eggs, copepods. There's his main diet. But I got him from Ness's layer, and he also eats like the smaller bits of marine frozen mysis. So he'll eat little bits of that as well. He just he's a good boy, as it were. He eats everything that puts him. Apart from pellet, he won't eat any pellets, but he eats most things. But that's why I bought him. I bought him because I knew he was a good eater.
Yeah,
I could keep him alive.
Because you spoiled him, Jay, on lobster eggs and stuff like that. He don't want to eat the dried pellets.
He doesn't want to eat the max specs and pellets.
Yeah, no.
But I'm a bit worried because I'm going away to London for 3 days, 2 nights, and I'm like, will he?
Did you not get a babysitter to come in, Jay? I know that somebody could probably do it. No, a proper babysitter.
What?
A babysitter.
For the fish.
Paul, you're on mute, mate. I seen you try to speak there.
I was going to say, put him to bed, get the hotel out.
Ross, you're my friend. Will you come down and look after him for me?
Yeah, no problem. Are you sure you trust me to do that, Jay?
What's that? Oh, yeah, no.
Nah, that's a no. I'm out then.
Yeah, really good. The scooter blenny is a really good fish and really colourful. And when he puts his little sail up at the back, it looks really cool as well. I don't know where he is at the moment.
So Jay, you're going to get someone to come in and check on the tank because they could feed.
Yeah, I think, well, I've got one of my best friends is just 2 doors down. So I'm going to get him, I think, to come round and feed. But he's never done it before, so I need to train him up a few times.
When you say just feed him a little bit, don't let him go like that.
Yeah, put him into pots and measure it all out.
Put him into pots, mate. Get him into pots. You know those pill pots that you see. For every One of my mates used to put his food in them. Because he used to feed dried. And when he goes away, he leaves it to his mother or his mother-in-law.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The little pill pots he has, because the number aren't they like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just give him that, and that's what his mum does. So I think that's a great idea for them. Little pill pots.
I'm gonna have to do something like that because I'm not cancelling the 3-day holiday to London. No chance. So it's a Christmas holiday, so I've got to go. So I've got an auto feeder. Where is my auto feeder? I've got an auto feeder. It's only pellets, I think.
I don't know if your auto feeder will feed lobster eggs though, Jay, will it?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I don't think there'll be any good in that. Let's have a look.
No.
But Jay, you can easily overfeed with an auto feeder.
Can you?
Yeah. I would test it out because depending on the setting, it can dump loads of flake and pellets in.
Yeah, you need to have it on the lowest setting possible.
I'd never use an auto feed.
So I've used it before and it was fine, but I'd rather have someone I'd put food in pots and get them to feed it. At least you're guaranteed you know how much is going to go in.
Imagine a malfunction of it and it just kept on going round like that, round and round, and just dropping it in all the time, mate. You'll come back, your whole tank will be destroyed. It'd be all gone.
Jay would be up in the middle of his pantomime and straight back up to the house.
Well, he'd have the camera on and just watch it spinning around.
I know.
I had an idea the other day. Well, I'm thinking of making a little tutorial video, not for the public, but to whoever house sits for me on how to feed my fish.
Absolutely.
And like if anything happens, like if the power goes out, these are the ones that you pull out to put in the generator, and little how-to.
Do you get a lot of power outages where you are? Because I know my uncle, he lives in Perth. My uncle.
Oh yeah.
Is there a place called Is there a place called Wangara or Wangara or something like that?
Wangara?
Yeah, Wangara. He lives there.
Yeah.
He lives there.
Ah, there you go.
Area, but yeah, he's and he says that sometimes they do get outages. Electric seems to go off, fairly often over there. And I was like, oh, that'd be a nightmare for the marine tank. That was my first thing. Was like, not about you, like, oh, would you be okay? It's like, God, imagine having a reef tank over there, power outages all the time. If ours goes off for like an hour, we're panicking. We're like, what the hell? What we're gonna do? You know what I mean? And stuff. Yeah. So it's a big issue over here for us. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mine was 3 hours this morning, and I was panicking. I was up from 3 o'clock in the morning till it was 5:30, 5:45. It came back on again, and I was absolutely panicking, thinking.
It's worse. It's worse for a nano tank because that loses heat pretty quick. Whereas a larger tank, it's what I mean. It's not going to lose as much heat as Like mine's gone out for like 4 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours, and the temperature's only dropped back like 2 degrees to a little under 2 degrees, so it's not too bad. But and that's after 5 or 6 hours. But I think like if you had a nano, 5 or 6 hours, you're looking at it's probably going to go to 21. I'd say 21, 22. So
Well, mine's. I don't know if you remember. There was a while back that I forgot to switch my heater back on again after I'd done some maintenance and left it overnight. So I woke up in the morning and the tank was down to 22 degrees, and that was after a full night. So, 22 degrees wasn't too bad. But last night, it went off at 3 o'clock, and like I say, it was on. I think it was about 5:45. So just about 3 hours it was off for, and it dropped from 25.5 to 24. So a degree and a half over that time.
Is it a small room that way you're in?
Yeah, it is.
And maybe the heat stays in the room. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. It's not a massive house I've got, and it's well insulated with new windows and doors. So
is that a bedroom or is that a bedroom?
It's like a spare bedroom as such. Yeah, it's upstairs as well, so it's not as bad. The heat obviously rises.
It's the insulation, isn't it? It does it. That just holds everything in. So which is what it's supposed to do. Yeah. So Jay, that altar feeder, that's the one I use. It's really good. But if you have a look at it, I can't remember it's the front.
Good.
If you have a look at how you adjust the opener on it, I would test it out because
that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I just took the feeder thing off. I don't know where.
Because that feeder, you have to really watch it, Jay. Because
is that the opening there?
A little couple of millimeters that would dump a lot. That would dump a lot of food in your tank.
So see the very first setting in it, Jay, where it's closed almost fully, but just open it once. That dumps a lot in, like Paul says. So you really need to. What you could actually be doing was putting a bit of tape over it and halving that really, so that it's only coming out. But you need to watch that it's not going to stick to it.
So I would test it, Jay. Just see how much actually comes out, and is that too much, and just adjust it to that.
The other thing to do is read the manual, because let's go batteries. See, when I done mine and set it up, so I left it for 2 days. I was in the house, but I left it for 2 days thinking that's fine, it'll be feeding. And when I came up and looked at it, it wasn't doing any rotations. And I thought, what the hell, why is it not doing rotations? There's a bit you need to press, and then it'll show, like, it shows a number and an arrow,
Yeah.
So that when you press it again, it will show 1 with an arrow, then 2 with an arrow, and that's how many rotations it does. So just make sure that you've got that, because I had mine set up with the times and thought it's great, but I didn't program the rotations that it needs. So you can program it to do how many of that. Just make sure
you can do a number of feeds and a number of rotations.
Why have I not done what?
Why have you not made a video for this so I could watch it?
Well, I'm going to hit you back with that one is pot, kettle, black.
Well, I don't know what
Why
to
have
do with
you not done a video?
I can't even get the side off, Ross. Where's this?
So, Jay, see the grey bit?
Next video, that, mate.
The grey bit in the middle, you push the battery through that, mate.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
How the hell did you get that? Right.
No idea. So, anyway, let's go. Let's take it a different place. So, Lauren, the big tank, what is your plans for that long term?
Well, I'm just going to let it do its thing and grow for however long. I think one day I would absolutely love to, I'm saving up my pennies to get a whole brand new 6 foot or more tank for that. I think that would be really cool to do a big upgrade one day on that. So that's definitely a few years down the track, but I do want to keep it, as it is for the meantime, I guess, while I'm saving as well. I can't really afford to do a huge upgrade yet, but just continue to have it going as it is for a couple of years and continue to show the progress of it. I don't want to upgrade too quickly because I guess doing a canister filter thing, it's I want to have it up for at least a few years to sort of show what can be done with a canister. So I don't want to upgrade too quickly, but
So I take it with your new tank then, if you got one in a few years' time, would you go sump or would you keep it canister?
Well, I don't know.
Because I take it your water box, is that the first sump tank you've had?
It is. And it was a
so
little
how
bit
do you
daunting.
Find that,
I don't know if you guys find this, but with instructions and everything that they give with, products or, bits of equipment, I find the instructions is just absolutely non-existent. Yes, I can see you're having a bad time there as well. It's
Jay
just
feels better now.
Yeah.
You don't want me to do a video of this. It's going to take me about 3 days. I agree, Lauren. I agree.
They don't. All they need is a piece of paper going, this is where it goes. Like, it's just one little piece of paper that I'm asking for. And it's like, they just presume you know where it all goes. And it's like, I'm not a plumber. I don't know anything, So I feel like they could do with a slight bit more instructions. I think it wouldn't hurt for a newbie, at least for me.
So as Black Pearl Reef says there, we're all men, so we don't read instructions. That's the problem.
I know.
That's a fair point.
I'll tell you something though. One of the hardest things that I've found through my whole past year of having this tank is how to get the batteries in a HANA checker. Now, I don't know if anybody else has ever had difficulty with that. When I first got the HANA checker, I did not know. I mean, I took the screw off the bottom, but I couldn't get the bottom to come off it. And I was trying to lever it, and I thought, I'm going to break this. So I had to go on YouTube and get a video on how to change the batteries in a HANA checker. Then I could change them. And once you do it, you know it's easy, but...
Yeah, but it's got that black terminal on it. The terminal that's actually plugged in. They don't tell you that. You're right, for sure. I was doing exactly the same. Try to snap the bottom of it off, and I'm like, why is this? There's got to be a problem. Yeah, screwdrivers. That's what I use, mate. Screwdriver is trying to wedge it out.
It's not an easy one, that, to be fair. Jay, are you struggling here, or are you just making it look like you're struggling?
The issue I've got now
making
is
it look hard.
I haven't got a screwdriver, so I'm trying to screw the bracket on without a screwdriver.
Are you going to use the bracket, though?
Yeah, look, it's going to have to sit on the glass up here, though.
Yeah, but I just sat mine in the corner at an angle.
What's that?
Yeah.
Like, I set mine on the corner at an angle, so see on the flat bit. I'll show you, because I'll need to change the layout here. I literally just sit mine like that on the tank, just at an angle.
Yeah.
Just there. So I just sit it on top of it in the corner at an angle.
What? Through the lid? How do you fasten it on?
You don't need to fasten it on. It weighs a ton.
You don't fasten it on.
It won't tip over.
If it drops off and you're on holiday, you can't feed them.
Unless you're having an earthquake or something, it's not going to drop off.
We won't. I just rest mine on top as well.
Yeah.
That's the way you're supposed to do it, Jay, I think. It's
No,
just
you're
rest them on
supposed
the
to
top.
move your winter fans, and then you put it next to them.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to raise that point there. Why have you got fans on in the winter when it's snowing outside?
Well, you never know. You never know, Ross. You never know.
No, I do know. That's the problem.
We're going to have a heat wave.
Yeah.
Around Jay.
Ross, that's how you do it, mate. Look, properly on there like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with Ross. I just stood mine on top of the tank and it was fine.
No, look there. That's with a bracket.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay.
And then and the food drops about 3 foot into the tank.
That's fine because you can feed your tank, the floor, the cabinet, everything will get fed at the same time because it'll bounce all over the place. So that's a great idea.
You think he'll throw it outside the tank?
I'll tell you what to do, Jay. Go and put some food in it, and we'll do a live trial on the live stream.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in the tank though because you'll overfeed it.
Let's let me just get a bit of food in it.
So while Jay's doing that, do you guys have any issues over? Well, you probably won't actually, because I imagine you've got aircon in the houses where we don't. So do your tanks stay a kind of stable temperature all year round? I take it.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we've just got fans. We don't have aircon here. But yeah, I think if we were in Perth, I'd definitely need a cooler or something for the tanks. But because we're a bit down south, I think the most we get is like 30 to 38 degrees during summer.
We'd have a meltdown, wouldn't we?
I think there was a day when it was 38 back in time in the record book somewhere where this country shut down, but we've never had that.
During the dinosaur period.
Yeah, during the dinosaur period. Yeah, I think that's when we had 38. When the asteroid hit the Earth, I think that's when we had 38.
If we have 32, the roads melt, the tracks melt. You can't go outside. It is so humid, and everyone is having a meltdown.
There you go. Ruthven says she bakes at 26 degrees. So yeah, there's.
I remember I went to the UK when I was younger, and I remember going out and it was a terrible, like an Australian version of a terrible day, and just seeing everyone out in like singlets, thongs, just like loving it. And it was like a freezing day for us. But yeah.
666
Whoa. I've got a comment here that I'm just going to put on the screen.
Yeah, 40s to 50s. Where the hell is that?
So I've experienced high 40s when I worked in Oman in the Middle East. And when I worked over there, I actually passed out with heat exhaustion and couldn't cope with the heat. So there's no way that I could live somewhere where it's high 40s, low 50s.
Where is that?
You've got to have a pool.
Oh, Broken Hill. Oh, I've been there.
Where's it? Broken Hill?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hot. It doesn't get that hot where I am, so you definitely need a cooler there, I reckon.
Yeah.
I tell you what, full respect to people who have marine fish tanks when it's like that. That is like that is just insane.
Any fish tanks, I think, would be a nightmare.
40 to 50.
Right. I can't imagine how hot that would be.
I can't imagine. Listen, when I go on holiday, like to Turkey and stuff, yeah, my gran and granddad and my aunties, like, I've got villas over there where we go, and I think the hottest I've ever known was, I think it got to 41, and they were actually saying people were actually dying there. You know, people who live there were dying. Oh, look at him! Hey, what's this? You scrolling across? Have you subscribed to it, Ross?
No, this is the free version. So see how you said it last week. So I looked on it and I was like, well, I get it. This is the free version. So I just seen there now you can do it.
Oh, nice.
You're doing your banners.
What's he doing?
Yeah, the banners. He's got a banner going across the bottom of it, Jake.
He's got moving banners. Didn't get this last week, did we?
Oh, look at that.
And Steve paid for his and Ross doesn't. He didn't get it.
I think so. What's all about?
You got the bad news, Steve. You've been ripped off.
Hey.
You have been.
Right, I've set the time. Put the food in.
Right, hang on.
What have you set it to?
Well, I've set it to whatever time it is now, 9:25. What do you think I've set it to?
Midnight.
I put it on Lauren's time, which is about 5 in the morning or something.
Right, so we're going to sit here and do a countdown. It's like New Year's Eve, isn't it?
I don't know. How do I get to turn that now? How do I...
Jay, you could just press the button on the top and it'll go round.
Yeah, press the button on the top. It'll do a demo on you.
The only one big button there is the EHIM one.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look.
I wouldn't have it over your tank.
No, Jay, don't put food in.
Yeah, I've got over the tank, mate.
What do you mean? Don't put food in an auto feeder? What's the point of that?
You might overfeed it if your hole's too big. It'll go too much to go in.
Right, I'll just put the first notch.
Do it.
Right, press the big EHIM button at the back.
Press the button, Jay. The button.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Let's see how much.
All
right.
Oh.
Look, nothing. It's not at the front.
Oh, Jesus!
Holy! What did I say?
Wow!
Jay!
Jay's floating.
Jay's going to have an algae.
Now that...
Jay, what did we say, Jay, about not putting it in and testing it out? Oh, jeez.
Just put loads in there. I wouldn't mind, but they've already been fed today.
Well, there you have it, folks. This overfeeding broadcast is brought to you by Jay's Real Reef.
The EHIM filter is the EHIM auto feeder is really good if you've got like a 4,000 litre tank stocked with about 60 fish.
Did you buy the pond version, Jay?
I think I bought the Sea Life Centre version here. That's ridiculous. And not one pellet sank, so they're all like the fish haven't even seen them.
Yeah, so they went straight through your overflow and in the back, and that's them gone.
They've all just gone down the back. Yeah, that's it.
Paul's got it.
Oh my!
I had one bit. You haven't even had one bit.
Jay.
Look.
You've got to do a water change now, mate. That's it.
I've got to change the filter floss at the back now.
70 litre water change now, Jay.
What's going on there?
How can God.
Anybody have it past the first setting on? Like it's only a tiny gap.
Yeah,
imagine you get it open.
Look how tiny the pellets are.
So,
Jay, that's what
Julie's put on the screen. Julie's saying that he's panicked here.
I bought the small pellets.
Yeah, but Julie's saying he's panicked, but Julie has no idea of the fact that we're going to have a crisis meeting after this and discuss the next actions for Jay's tank now. That's the problem.
What I could do is I could get the filter out the back here and just come back in.
There's a Yorkshireman if ever I've seen it. Just put them back in the tank, mate. It's fine.
Recycle them.
They're all in there.
They're all in here, look. They're all there. What's going on?
Oh my God.
Look, they're at the bottom.
Oh, geez.
Is that them all, Jay? Oh my God.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh my God.
Not even eating one.
That would have fed my 450 litre.
I was going to say, I don't think that Lauren would feed as much in her big tank, would you?
What's going on?
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So, yeah, there's another comedy gold moment there.
We go. Another live demo from Jay.
That's the thing. We need a Jay's Real Reef tour.
I'm going to review the EHIM auto feeder.
I can't wait to see this video.
Great for clogging up your filter floss, your filter stocks, but not really good at feeding your fish because my fish didn't get a single bit of food there. What's going on with that?
Jay, how's your scooter blendy going to last when it dumps food like that and goes straight into the sock?
Well, it just dumped it. The wave maker came on. It just chucked it all straight down the reservoir thing, and that was it. It was all gone within like seconds.
That's efficient filtering for you, Jay.
Well, I don't think going on holiday is looking good now, to be honest.
Nah, just cancel it, mate.
Trip to London. I was relying on this as well. Can't believe that.
I mean,
Jay,
I used it when...
Yeah, go on, Ross.
I used it mine when we went to Kraken, so I set mines up when we went down to Kraken and it worked fine and fed the tank no problem. But I set it up for a week beforehand, so I was watching it for a week before. Yeah.
That's what I always do when I'm going away. I test it up and feed because you then know how much is being fed into the tank.
Thinking pellets though or something. Can you get pellets that sink straight away?
Yeah.
Sinking pellets.
Sinking pellets, yeah.
No, because these all floated off and just went straight down the reservoir. Anyway, there we go.
So Lauren, we was talking earlier about a mixed reef. There we go. There's your test case about a mixed reef and how easy or hard it is to run.
Yes. Yes.
Although, is it a fair test, that one?
Which one?
The mixed reef.
The mixed reef is tricky. The hardest one. I think I'm about to give up on camera. I need to put this back in the box so I can do a video now.
An unboxing.
I thought you were going to say put it back in the box so you can take it back to the shop again.
Yeah, so it doesn't work properly, Jay.
I know.
Yeah, so let's too much out at one time.
The hole's too big.
I wonder if anybody's rung up this Eheim and said, I've put the food in and it's absolutely fed none of my livestock. It just all disappeared.
Yeah, I think you should phone them up and tell them, mate.
The fish will phone up at this rate. They'll be furious if they don't get the fish. Please. That can't be right. Maybe it's my flow or something. I don't know. Or the pellet, the wrong size pellets, I think, maybe. I don't know.
So, Jay, Julie said that you have to do a nitrate test quickly now just to make sure that the tank's okay.
No. Quick! Those words don't go together, Julie. I can't do that.
Oh, man.
I can't do that. So yeah.
So Lauren, you're testing. How many do you test weekly on your tanks? On both?
Me?
Or do you? Yeah. Do you test weekly or is it fortnightly? Do you have a schedule or what? Or not?
There's a bit of squirming going on there, isn't there?
Exactly.
I did a test once.
Oh no! There you are. Here we go.
I know what she's doing. So the test is just by looking at your corals. If your corals look good, then you don't need to test.
Yeah.
True.
That's what some people say, isn't it? Some people say that.
Yeah. With my 6-foot tank, I did do a test. And
You did do
one test, yeah.
Oh,
a long time ago.
Wow.
No, 2, because I recently. Yeah. But yeah, it's all good. It's I definitely need to get better at testing with my new tank, and that's something I need to get more into a habit of, because obviously I'm not in a habit at the moment. So yes, but yeah, I plan on testing in the future.
Yeah.
I only do 3 tests now.
You see, I always got slammed because I didn't do a manual test and I got the machines to test from me. But in a way, it's still being tested, isn't it? You know what I mean? Everybody said, it's still getting tested. So I have a rough idea of what. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with the KH keeper, which we're not really going to go into.
No, we don't have enough time, mate. There's only half an hour left.
Well, I could start at minute 1 and still waffle on to 2 hours later, and I'd still have things to say. So, but yeah, but now I've seen to got it dialed in, and it seems to be okay now. But yeah, as for the main thing, really, I really test for is the alkalinity, and because the machine does it, if your alkalinity is okay, then 9 times out of 10, everything else falls into place. Really. So,
and I will test with the SPS tank, definitely, because it's SPS. But yeah, just because I've got in this tank like your leathers, zoas, morphs, mushrooms, and like Xenia and Kenya tree. They're all super chill corals. Like I just find with my I just find with my water change it's fine. I've never had any issues with it, so I should probably do it.
That's it with softies, with softy tanks and like I suppose LPS tanks as well. Really, if you do regular water changes, really that's really sufficient enough, really, because you're getting everything. You know what I mean? Like you said with SPS, alkalinity swings are the worst things in an SPS.
Exactly.
And I think that's why I've lost some of mine in the past, where even my alkalinity just swung by 1 DKH, and it was enough to pee one of them off or 2 of them, and that was it. It said, that's it, I'm bailing. And before you know it, the next morning you come down and it's totally white, and you're like, what the heck? You know, this was perfect the other day. But that's the only problem, like you said, with SPS is you have got to check it for sure, because
definitely
it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
That's quite a valid point from Coral Reef Beans. Now, I think it was actually Jay that mentioned it first to me.
We
Was
talked
to get
about
a
it
Duncan
before.
coral, because that's probably the best. I think that was your first coral, Jay, wasn't it? The Duncan.
Yeah,
it was mine as well,
Duncans,
to be fair.
Yeah, the Duncan's a great little coral.
Because as
I've
soon
heard
as there's something
GSP
up,
is like that as well. GSP is similar.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
I know that any time that my tanks had any kind of swing of anything, the Duncan's the first one to close up straight away, and you know for a fact there's something wrong. Test the water, and you'll always find something that's not quite right.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I would probably recommend anybody starting out to get relatively quickly is a Duncan, because it's one of those things that I think is I think it was you that said it, Jay, a canary in the tank. It tells you exactly what's going on straight away.
And it's nice and hardy as well, which helps.
Yeah, and it also has a bit of movement. It's got a bit of colour. It's everything that we really want. So.
I love Duncans. For sure.
Yeah.
I love them. I think they're fantastic coral. For sure.
Jay Black Pearl's asking if you went to get some Gorilla Glue and some glitter to add some colour back to your coral.
Well, that's the last resort, but I'm not going to rule it out, to be honest. I'm not going to rule that out. After Christmas, there's always loads of glitter everywhere, isn't there? So stick some of that on.
There's a brave comment. Nah, just swish the aquarium water around my mouth for a bit and see if it's good or not.
Well, there you go.
Do not try that at home.
Yeah, it's not coming for us, no chance. I'm not going to do that.
I don't think it's like seawater, though, is it? I mean, well, it is like seawater. But
Well, yeah.
No, but it's
What?
a
I
bit
mean,
different.
it's not like seawater. It's saltwater. It's the same.
Mine doesn't taste like proper seawater.
Wait, hang on a minute. So, A, why are you tasting seawater in the first place? And then B, why are you tasting your tank water and comparing it?
No, I don't drink it or anything, but...
I'm imagining Jade sitting there going, good water.
Yeah, Jake, do
some
a
of
video
that.
on that. Do a video on that, how it tastes your
But to be
saltwater.
fair, all these guys are drinking it all day long. They're all right.
Oh, man.
He sits and have a couple of pints. Do you have a couple of pints with the Scooter blending in, do you?
Me and the Scooter always sit down.
Oh, shots.
Yeah. Shot glasses, yeah. No, I think it's like...
Down it.
Well, there's
I'm not doing that on camera, no chance. This is a serious reefing chat. Not drinking me tank. Especially when there's not enough to go around for the fish. Anyway, let's put this back for another...
I think you're going to need to do a shot of fish tank water at some point, Jay.
Who does?
You.
Yeah. What's this channel turning into, Rod? This is supposed to be a serious educational channel.
It is. Folk are watching what not to do. That's the thing they're learning.
Absolutely. On your auto feed, around not to feed.
How not to feed. That was on the smallest setting as well. And it dumped, I don't know, well over 100 pellets in.
Ouch.
Don't swallow. What's going on?
Oh, man. This live stream's getting out of hand now.
Getting out of hand. Pull it back, Ross. Pull it back.
You'll come back after those 3 days, Jay, yeah? And they'll be the size of my chromus, your clown.
Oh, my God.
That's
The steroid chromus.
Those chromus have got to be a Guinness World Record. I'm sure they are.
They're huge,
I need to measure them, actually. Yeah, they are huge. They are huge fish.
And
I always thought they died. They only lived a short life, those chromus, I always thought. But they're well over 2.5 years old, them things now.
You got them from Chernobyl LFS.
Steve, you accidentally fed them real roids rather than reef roids.
Reef roids. Just like bench the SPS.
Bench pressing, yeah. They're grabbing the torch coral at night time.
I know. Right, serious question now. Lauren, what do you feed your corals? Nothing. Oh.
I fed them once.
I have started feeding them baby brine shrimp. So I've done like a little hatchery. So I've heard that that's meant to be really good for corals. So yeah, I've started feeding them that. I did used to, other than that, I used to do the Red Sea AB Plus for a while. But then, I'm just doing baby brine shrimp now once a week. And just go around and do it in all my little tanks because the freshwater fish like it as well. So yeah.
So how many freshwater tanks do you have?
Just 2. Yeah, little ones. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got 4 tanks on the go. Wow. Yeah. It's like you, Paul. You've got 4 on the go.
Yes, we've got 2 small freshwater. My wife's got one in the kitchen. My boy's got one in one of the bedrooms, and then 3 marine. But I don't have anything to do with the freshwater because they look up. In fact, the first tank we got was the freshwater in the kitchen, and after that, I then went into marine and went a bit OTT. So if it hadn't been for the tank in the kitchen, I probably wouldn't have gone marine. So that's my wife's fault because she bought a tank for the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you've all got a tank, Paul, pretty much.
My eldest hasn't. He's got no interest whatsoever. He occasionally feeds the fish if I'm out, but begrudgingly.
That's nice, though, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah.
Family thing. That's what's good about it.
Yeah. I mean, my missus is not too bad, I suppose, with it. She's not really mega, really interested in it. She'll have a look at the tank. Don't get me wrong, because it's in the living room. But the kids, they're not interested one bit whatsoever, in the tank. And it's a shame, really, because I said, you know what, we'll put a tank in your room, in the bedrooms. But they're like, no, we don't want one. I'm like, right, fair enough. Was it just basically it was for me, really? I wanted to put a tank in the room. I can't do it. You know what I mean? But no, they don't want it. They don't want it. So I was like, right, fair enough. Got to find another space for it. But I think I'm going to get a new tank in the new year. Something different. A different setup, like something totally different, something new. But it's going to be in the new year for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lauren, there's a question here. How's the sea monkeys going?
Yeah, good. I think the coral's been enjoying it. Yeah, I find the setup pretty easy. My brother-in-law, he's actually started hatching the brine shrimp in his sump, so it's not like an extra. Because I did a video on how I did my setup, which is sitting it in one of my freshwater setups. But he's gone to the next step and tried to make it completely out of the way and used like a USB light and a USB air stone to hide it away in his sump. So it's just completely hidden away, doing its thing. Just get it out, feed it to your corals, and then away you go again. So I think that's a pretty cool idea. Yeah, there's is there. We do need to do an update on that.
Oh, is that him there, is it?
Yeah. So
yeah, that'd be interesting to see because I don't think I've ever seen anybody doing that in their sump before.
Such a good idea. So and it's a cheap food as well. Very cheap compared to.
So I take it it's relatively easy to just keep growing them then, is it?
Yeah. So you just do it. You just take a scoop of the tank water out, put some of the brine shrimp in there, and then just let it go for 24 hours, and then they're hatched, and then just feed them to your tanks.
Yeah, I've never looked into those, like where you because I see the hatchery kits that you can buy. You see, the hatchery kits you can get them on Amazon and all that. You can get them anywhere. Those things. Yeah, and they come in a little tub, and it says you need to just put the scoop of the eggs or whatever. So I'm assuming this might sound totally daft, but I'm assuming they're like dormant. Are they dormant eggs or something? And then when you hit water,
they're dry, aren't they?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I've never really looked into it, but I have seen it before. But definitely, like you said, it's food for your fish as well.
It's like a powder though, really, isn't it? Because I remember sea monkeys when I was a kid at school. You used to have a wee tub of sea monkeys, and it was literally a powder that you added water to, and all of a sudden there was things living there. And I thought,
so it must be like dormant until it hits gets to the right temperature and salinity or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they hatch.
Yeah. What I did mine, I just got a plastic bottle, cut off the bottom, and then turn it on the other side, upside down, so it sits in there. I'd put it on top of the back of the tank to use the light from the tank, and then you have an air pump in there. And then 48 hours later, and that's how I used to feed the Bengal cardinals when they were babies, and they absolutely love it because up to about 48 hours, they're full of nutrition. After that, they lose their nutrition quite a bit. It was so easy, and then I had 2 bottles on the go, and every day I was just feeding the baby cardinals. And it worked.
So if you put it in that tub and all that, I take it you've got to get a strainer of you. We got to get a strainer to strain them out, or do you just tip that water in?
I must admit, I tipped it in, but you are supposed to strain it out. But it wasn't. I didn't find it was too much of a problem in the bigger tank. But you can put the strainers, but then obviously the little eggs and all the crap you get in there. But as I was doing it every 48 hours, there wasn't that much collecting in it. But I'd probably recommend that you do strain them. But I didn't bother, and it because it was 450 litres in the tank, it didn't really have much of a difference. A smaller tank, it might have a bit of problem with nitrate or phosphate. I'm not too sure what it would give off, to be fair, but so it is so easy to do.
Right.
Or you could get a turkey baster to get the eggs out. The brine shrimp from the bottom, and then if you put the light at the bottom, they'll go towards the light, and then it will separate.
Is that what it is? Oh, right. I see. Yeah, because so they're attracted to the light because it's like clownfish. My clownfish lay when they first laid eggs when I was dead, I was like a new father. I was like, oh, this is great, and then I shined the torch, and all the clown eggs when they hatched, and all the baby fry, they all came right to the glass. They all came right to the glass. There was loads of them all come from wherever when they were hatched straight to the light. And I was thinking, because I always thought, well, how did he catch the eggs? You know, if they're in a tank. And then I researched it, and that's what it is. There was like a device that had like an LED light, and you had it switched on. You stick it to the side of your tank, and they actually swam into it, and then they couldn't get back out because they were just attracted to the light. And I thought, wow, that's it. It's a really good idea. But they must be the same. I might do that. Sure.
See how you were saying he grows them in the sump. I take it there's a container in the sump he's growing them in. It's not just the eggs floating about the sump on their own.
Yeah, in a container. I think he's done a similar thing to Paul with the just a like a soft drink bottle or something like that. Just cut off the bottom. So and hung it on the side. So but it works good. It's good live food for your corals and
all the fish.
Like your tangs are like whatever. I can't even get them, but
they're so small, aren't they? Your smaller fish love it. I found that the amphias and also your wrasse like it as well because they like to pick on smaller foods, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Mandarins, I reckon, as well. What do you reckon? Mandarins?
Yeah, mandarins would probably go for them as well, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Laura, you started off with your tank being fish only, didn't you? The big tank. So if you had to choose one, would you go fish and coral if you had to do another one?
If I had to choose between the two?
Yeah.
I do like fish and coral, but I do like the coral in there.
For me, I love the look of the coral more than the fish, but there is some stunning fish that you just can't have with coral. That's the problem.
I know. I think I'd like to have both one day. One with all the nice fish and then one with fish and corals. But I just love the big tangs and stuff like that. I just want all of them, and beautiful. So.
Some of the angel fish are absolutely lovely, but they they munch on coral, don't they?
Yeah,
doesn't work out.
The emperor angel fish is just
I really want an emperor.
It's one of the most stunning fish you've ever seen in your lifetime. The emperor.
The juvenile version of it is the bit that I like.
They totally look different. They're totally different, aren't they? They look nothing like what they look like when they're fully mature.
I know. Yeah, I think if they stayed the way they are when they're a juvenile, that would be enough for me to get a fish only tank. But the fact that they lose that coloration when they grow a bit, but the colours on them are phenomenal. I really like them.
Yeah, they're stunning.
What would be all of your guys' dream fish if you could choose something?
That's a tough one.
You know mine, truthfully, and it's just I say basic. It's basic because it's a gem tank.
Good at them.
I wish that I bought a gem tank. You know the one where it's all spotted. I wish that I had one of them, all black with spots. I think they just look stunning, and they look like I've seen. My mate used to have one, but he shut it down. I should have bought it, but I had the yellow tang, you see, and I just couldn't risk it, and it was a bit of a price as well. And I thought, if I take it out and I put it in there, and then I've got to get one of them out. I know, like my missus loves the yellow one, so I thought it's just, and I'd love the gem tang, so it'd be a bit of an argument in the house. So I just left it. But I wish now that I bought it and just see whether it would work. But yeah, definitely a gem tank for me. I think they look stunning.
Mine would be an Achilles tang. I just think they're superb. Yeah, they look really nice. You don't see that many around either. They're lovely tangs.
Yeah.
Dom had one of them, didn't he, in the main display once? Dom, in that big one where that big, the main display.
Did he? Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic fish. I mean, they were really expensive a few years ago. God knows how much they are now, because you don't see them in shops very often. They were like 250, 300 quid, and you're talking maybe 5 years ago, which was a hell of a lot for a fish. I dare not think how much they are now. But then black tangs have been about 800 quid for ages.
Yeah.
They used to be quite rare.
Exactly.
I think for me, it would be, so there's kind of three that come to mind with me. So either the Emperor Angel that we talked about, or a Flame Angel would be the other one that I really like the look of.
Yeah.
But if it was tangs, I really like the lipstick tangs for some reason. I think there's one of them.
Yeah.
They're a bit different, aren't they?
Stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's something about them that I think is really nice. So I'd struggle to choose one out of those three, but that's my kind of top that I would probably go for. And none of them I can get for my tank anyway, so I need to keep dreaming about them.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Jay, are you alive?
Jay wants a Chromus.
I like the copper band butterfly. I know it's really common, but I think it's
they're nice.
And they're really nice. I like the butterfly fish.
I think a lot of people struggle to keep them, though, do they not? Or am I
They do.
Very picky eaters.
Yeah.
They're very, very picky.
It'd be an angel fish for me. Either the Emperor Angel or the copper band.
You know what I think is quite nice as well is the coral beauties. I think they're quite nice.
Yeah, they're good.
I had a coral beauty and it died when the electric went off. It just didn't survive when the temperature dipped, unfortunately.
No.
So
have you ever had a fish bigger than a Chromus, Steve?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh no, I had my tang, didn't I? I had my tang that I took before.
Oh yeah.
So Jay, there's a comment for you. Flame Scooter Blenny until it tried to get in the Christmas tree while I was out today.
Yeah, that is a brilliant fish as well.
Yeah.
I think for a nano tank, that's probably my favourite. Yeah. Or the jawfish, which I never got round to getting, but I know they're quite hard to keep because they like colder tanks, don't they?
Yeah. Kevin's put a question up. It's very similar to the one that Lauren just asked, but if you could only have one fish in your tank, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mine would be the yellow. Mine would be the yellow tang. I've got one at the moment. I just think it's a stunning colour and a stunning fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky.
For me, I'm going to throw it. So if I was to choose one of my fish I've got just now, it would be the possum wrasse, because I only have possum wrasse and clownfish. But the little possum wrasse I've got, the personality in that little thing is brilliant. It's fantastic to watch, and tiny little fish. So for that little tank, if I could only have one fish in it, possum wrasse, that would be my one.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be a lionfish, because not much can go with them, can they? So because it eats
a lionfish.
A lionfish is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was your friend, wasn't it, who was feeding the lionfish on the live stream, remember?
Yeah, so that was Bravo 20, Jonathan. He was feeding it on the live.
They just snap at the food. You're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry,
Lauren?
I love clown tangs. I think they're gorgeous. I'd love to have a clown tang one day. So, but I know they're quite meant to be the most aggressive one of the most aggressive out of tangs. So I definitely plan on having one day. But yeah, if I could choose one fish, it would hands down be a clown tang, I reckon.
Yeah.
They are really nice, the markings on them, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Paul?
Mine would be the yellow. I said.
Sorry, you said that. Yeah.
And if it was a small tank, I'd go peacock wrasse. I mean, peacock wrasse have got a lovely rainbow colours to them, and they're really, really good community fish as well, and great for pests. I found as well.
I also completely forgot about this one, but it's probably one of my dream fish overall. Would be a porcupine puffer. See the fact they've got big massive eyes on them, and they've got the wee smiley face and that, and I think they would just be so brilliant to have, but you can't really have anything with them. That's the problem.
Predator. So you need a predator tank for that. You know, just all predator tanks.
Because you can't even have cleanup crew or anything because they're just going to nail them, aren't they?
No, they eat them. Yeah, they eat everything. Yeah, yeah. It's a shame. You've got your shot of anything in them with them things. But remember? Do you remember? Oh, I've forgotten his name now. Oh, it'll come back to me. And he had that big tank. He had that huge tank, and he had one of those puffer fish in it, and he used to pet it. He used to come up to the top, and it was like a dog. It used to know. Remember him? What was it? What was his channel?
I did see those, and I can't remember the name.
And he was. It'd come to the top, and you could stroke it. You could stroke it.
That wasn't the king of DIY. Did he have a puffer?
No, it wasn't the King Joey. No, it wasn't him. It was Nathan. Nathan, is it? Nathan's. Oh, let me bring it up.
Well, Nathan Willard.
Nathan Willard.
When he had the Red Sea 750.
When he had the 750. And he had all
was that the one that was squirting the water up the walls and everything?
It come up from the tank, didn't it?
That's the one, yeah. He could actually, he did one video, check him out. And he said, watch this, and he used to come up to the top of the surface like that, come along, and it used to know it was getting fed, and he could stroke it like that and then feed him. It was like a dog. It was crazy. It was like insane. He used to know when he used to get fed, but then, I think Nathan was getting a bit peed off because it started squirting water out all over the floor. And it didn't have laminated floor, he had carpet, so I think it was making a mess. So it was even worse, for him. But they have really nice fish for sure.
My absolute dream is to have a koi pond and to be able to spoon feed my koi. Like, I don't know if you've seen those videos, but I just want to be like, there you go, there's your dinner. Nothing more than I want to be able to do that and to feed my
I was thinking about doing one of them outside in my yard. I mean, I've got a fairly decent sized yard, but it's all like trees where in that section. You've seen it, Ross, in the back. Yeah. Well, I was going to dig out all that area or the square foot and then dig down. So as long as it's like 4 foot down, then you can build 2 foot up and you don't need to take the fish out then. It's got to be 6 foot, I believe, or something like that, so they can hibernate. And I was so contemplating doing it myself. I was like, you know what? I was pricing it up and everything of the price to see how much it would cost, but it just got to the point where you think a tank like that is expensive. It's nothing compared to koi.
Because there's a company in the UK, and I think it's called Easy Pond or something. They make these plastic solid koi tanks that you can buy and then get them. But like you say, when you look at that and then you see like the skimmers you need for a koi tank, that's like thousands of pounds, and then the koi themselves are thousands of pounds unless you buy a small one and grow it on. But like you said, Lauren, I would want one that was big enough that you're going out with a handful of food and putting it right in its mouth, and you'd want something a bit special. I don't know if you watched it. It was Coralfish 12G done a video series where he went across to.
Yeah, he did. He went to.
Was it?
Went to
I can't remember where.
Japan
or something.
He went to Japan, to the home of koi carp, wasn't it?
And that was really impressive to see that. I liked that one.
Yeah. I'll have to watch
really
that.
Expensive koi.
Yeah, if you look on Coralfish 12G's channel, you'll see he done a whole thing about koi fishing. Oh man, I mean, some of the fish. I think there was a koi sold in Japan for $1 million, was there not, or something?
Yeah, that's right. $1 million.
I think he mentioned it. Yeah. That's some serious money.
That's crazy.
Even if you've got a lot of money, $1 million to spend on a fish. How can you justify that?
A freshwater fish that's really popular at the moment. And people like go and steal them out of people's houses and stuff like that. They're worth millions sometimes as well.
Wow.
What is it? I can't remember.
It must not have like herons.
Arowana.
Oh yeah, the arowanas.
Joey has them from Fingy, don't he? The arowana. He's got
There
was a video I watched of a guy feeding arowanas rabbits. Like he was actually dropping rabbits in the tank and they were eating the rabbits, and I thought, wow. Yeah. Imagine saying I'm going to feed the fish and walking up the stairs with a rabbit to drop it in the tank.
Big huge, aren't they?
Put that in an auto feeder.
Yeah.
Jay would be sitting there with a hutch above his tank, and every 12 hours the door would open.
That's what I've just said. Do you watch Blue Reef Tank, Lauren? Blue Reef Tank.
What's that, sorry?
You watch Blue Reef Tank on YouTube. That's an Australian channel.
I'll have to look it up.
It's good.
Fellow Aussie.
Is that the one that doesn't speak, but it's all like subtitles and it's just music on it?
Really cinematic, and he does
I've seen that.
Live feeding culture, creates his own live foods.
He's got a little fluval evo or something, has he not?
Yeah, he's only got a little nano tank, but he's in Melbourne, and it's really cinematic. It's really cool photography of Australia as well. You have to check him out.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, he's not as good as you and Marcus Reef, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
People are saying that you would get too attached to the food, Jay, if it was rabbits, so it's not an option for you to get arowana.
I'm just thinking, do these people have like herons where they live when they have these fish?
Yeah, us.
You'd be gutted if a heron picked it out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be gutted.
Yeah, you koi pond.
Yeah. You just end up wrestling with the heron.
Yeah. Oh. We see a heron flying over our house. It's absolute. Have you seen them in real life? They're massive. It was like a pterodactyl. It was flying over. Like, it created a huge shadow on the floor. Like, what in the hell? It was massive.
Believe it or not, so here's a really random one for you. See, when I worked offshore in the oil rigs, I was out one night on a night shift and walked round the corner on the platform, and there was one standing on the corner of the oil rig in the middle of the North Sea. Now, it must have been flying somewhere, got tired and stopped for a break. And I walked around the corner, and I'm not joking yet, I've never been so scared in my life, because you don't expect to walk around the corner on an oil rig in the middle of the North Sea and see a heron standing there. And it was as scared as I was of it, and I was like, oh! I just turned around and walked the other way, and I thought, there's no way I'm going near that thing. And I don't know what I was doing out there.
It might have vet you.
Well, I'd have been a big meal, mate. The thing would have been stuffed for weeks if it didn't me.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, guys, Mother Reef, Julie, has spoken, and that is our time up again.
Oh, Julie, she's so good at the timing.
She is good at looking after the timing.
I'm a lock-in at Christmas, though, Julie. Surely there's a lock-in at Christmas.
Well, Jay, remember, you're doing the first one in New Year, Jay, so it's up to you to have the lock-in.
Yeah, that one finishes at 9, that one.
That starts at 6.
So yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you very much to Lauren for joining us. I know that was a nightmare getting up at
Thanks for having me.
At 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was there when you joined us, but
that's commitment.
That was dedication. You definitely get the award for the most dedicated there. So thank you very much for joining us, Lauren. Really appreciate you, and thank you for everybody in the chat. So where are we next week, guys? Are we on Paul's channel next week?
Yeah, we're on my channel then the week after with Steve, and then we break for Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Being back at school, isn't it?
Yeah. And then
2
back with Jay.
2 week break. 2 week break.
Yeah. So, like I say, guys, don't forget to go and check out Lauren's channel and all the other guys' channels and subscribe to them. So, we'd really appreciate that if you could do that. And yeah, that's us for tonight. So, thanks very much, folks. Thanks, Lauren.
Merry Christmas to Australia as well, Lauren.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the sunshine for Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll do. I'll post lots of photos.
Right, folks, take care.
Bye-bye.